After decades of military rule, Nigeria embraced democracy in 1999 with the election of President Olusegun Obasanjo. His tenure from 1999 to 2007 promised a new dawn for Africa's most populous nation. But while his administration achieved significant milestones, it was also marked by serious casting controversies, missed opportunities, and widespread criticism. Let's take an in-depth look at life under President Olusegun Obasanjo's civilian government. Before we start, please like and subscribe so you know whenever I drop a new video, but also because making these videos does take some effort. On May 29, 1999, Olusegun Obasanjo was sworn in as Nigeria's first democratically elected president after 16 years of military rule, since President Shehu Shagari's government was overthrown in a bloodless coup in 1983. A former military head of state himself, Obasanjo came with the unique experience of having led the country before. Nigerians were very optimistic that his government would stabilize the economy, strengthen democracy, and rebuild a nation battered by years of corruption and mismanagement. Obasanjo inherited a broken economy, but he was determined to turn things around. His administration pursued sweeping economic reforms under the National Economic Empowerment and Development Strategy (NEES). These included privatizing state-owned enterprises, tackling inflation, and addressing the country's crushing debt burden. In 2005, Nigeria secured a historic deal with the Paris Club, which saw $18 billion of its external debt forgiven, one of the most celebrated achievements of Obasanjo's government. However, these reforms came at a cost. Privatization was marred by accusations of favoritism and corruption, as many state-owned companies were sold below market value to cronies of the administration. Furthermore, unemployment and poverty remained widespread, with the wealth gap widening. Fuel prices became a contentious issue during Obasanjo's presidency. In 1999, a litre of petrol cost 20 naira, but by the end of his tenure in 2007, it had risen to 70 naira per litre. These price hikes sparked nationwide protests led by the Nigerian Labour Congress and other unions. Despite being Africa's largest oil producer, Nigeria's refineries remained in disrepair, forcing the country to import refined petroleum products at great expense. The energy sector was another point of failure. Obasanjo invested billions in power generation, yet Nigerians continued to endure epileptic electricity supply. By 2007, despite promises of improved capacity, power outages were still a daily reality. One of Obasanjo's boldest moves was the establishment of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) and the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC). Under the leadership of Nuhu Ribadu, the EFCC investigated and prosecuted high-profile cases, including the conviction of former Inspector General of Police Tafa Balogun and several state governors. These efforts sent a strong message that corruption would no longer be tolerated. However, critics accused Obasanjo of using the anti-corruption campaign as a weapon against political opponents. Many argued that the allies of the administration were spared scrutiny, raising questions about the impartiality of the EFCC. Obasanjo's administration is credited with revolutionizing Nigeria's telecommunications sector with the introduction of the GSM network. The liberalization of the telecom industry in 2001 paved the way for companies like MTN, MTEL, and Glo to enter the market. By 2007, millions of Nigerians owned mobile phones, compared to just a few thousand in 1999, a transformation leap that connected the nation like never before. His government also made strides in infrastructure, with roads, schools, and hospitals receiving significant investments. The Lagos-Abuja Expressway, among others, saw repairs during his tenure, although much of the progress was uneven and incomplete. One of the most controversial episodes of Obasanjo's presidency was the third-term agenda. In 2006, Obasanjo sought to amend the constitution to allow him to run for a third term in office. This sparked outrage across the country, with many viewing it as a betrayal of the democratic principles that he himself had championed. Ultimately, the proposal was defeated in the National Assembly, but the episode had already tarnished Obasanjo's legacy some. Despite economic reforms and the launching of programs like National Poverty Eradication Program, poverty remained widespread, and by 2007, more than 50% of Nigerians were living below the poverty line. Education also suffered setbacks. Public schools were underfunded, and the Academic Staff Union of universities staged multiple strikes during his tenure, disrupting the academic calendar and leaving students frustrated. Under Obasanjo, Nigeria grappled with rising insecurity. Ethnic and religious violence flared in several parts of the country, most notably in Jos Plateau State and the Niger Delta. Militant groups like the Movement for the Emancipation of the Niger Delta (MEND) intensified attacks on oil installations and facilities, demanding greater control of local resources. Kidnappings and violent clashes became common, further destabilizing the region. Urban crime also surged, with armed robberies and gang violence posing significant challenges for law enforcement. While Obasanjo's government was more democratic than its military predecessors, it was not without its flaws. Journalists and activists often faced intimidation and arrests, with high-profile cases like closure of media outlets critical of the Obasanjo administration. The military was also accused of using excessive force in quelling protests and communal conflicts, leading to significant loss of civilian life. By the time Obasanjo left office in 2007, Nigeria had experienced both progress and setbacks. His administration's achievements in debt relief, telecoms, and anti-corruption were commendable, but issues like poverty, unemployment, and third-term controversy overshadowed or at least tarnished these gains. Ultimately, his government laid the foundation for democracy and economic reform, but left much work undone. It was a mix of hope, progress, and disappointment. A time of rebuilding, but also one of failed promises. What do you think about Obasanjo's legacy? Was he a reformer or just another flawed leader? Let us know in the comments below. And please don't forget to like and subscribe for more historical insights. Thank you for watching.